Hello everyone and very welcome to the third episode of CAS in the Cockpit season number 2. Today with the tutorial of descent, approach and landing. Right now we are in our way to New York. We are about to reach the top of descent, so I will teach you how we do the descent procedures in the Boeing 777. As you can see here, we got a mark that says T/D, that means top of descent. So that means that at LEA, our waypoint, top of descent, it's a maximum waypoint where we can begin with the descent. So we're about to reach it, only 16 miles away from LEA, so we're gonna begin with the descent checklist. We open the checklist again, and we are gonna press the recall button again. No messages are shown, so recall is checked, no notes. The auto brake, we're gonna put the auto brake in the position number 2 because we're flying short haul and we have only 2.4 tons of fuel. Landing data, we press init ref. The VREF is 139 knots, and approach briefing is completed via Cameron 4 all the way in the approach for runway 04 right in New York, so the descent checklist is completed. Right now we can close the page of the checklist, switch again to 1000, and now we can look for our levels. We are expecting to be at flight level 259er or 260 at Tuber, so we have to descend 3000 feet from LEA to Tuber. So we're gonna begin right now before reaching the top of descent. So we put 26,000 feet, we click on it, activate the vertical speed and put 1000. It's normally what the pilots in the simulator do. So as you can see, the speed is decreasing and the green indicator shows us that we will be at flight level 260 after Tuber. So what we're gonna do is reduce the speed a little bit and increase the vertical speed. So the green indicator comes closer to Tuber. We're gonna synchronize the heading again, 068. We'll put 1300 for vertical speed. And right now we are descending already. Volume higher. So the next is Alpha Charlie Yankee. We are expecting flight level 230. So we can check that flight level 230. We are far away from the goal, so we will reduce the speed to 280 knots and increase a little bit the descent rate. Right now it could be a little bit confusing. I will only fly directly to Pansy. So I click Pansy, put it in the first position, click execute, and we're flying basically direct to Pansy. We are expecting to be at 16,000 feet at Pansy, so we will select 16,000 and increase a little bit the descent rate. And then, as you can see here, after Pansy we go all the way to Cameron 4 and our approach to the runway 04 right in New York. As you can see, for the gate we have GSX, that's a pay program mod for Flight Simulator, and we can select our airport, and the list is about the airports in the vicinity. As you can see here, for example, Kilo Alpha Charlie Yankee is the closest airport, so that's why it's in the first place. We have also Kilo Whiskey Romeo India. I don't see that airport in the list, but anyways, we're looking for JFK. We are far away from JFK at this moment, so when we get closer we will open the list again for the gate, for selecting our gate in New York. That will be Echo 3 in the Terminal 1. So we'll increase a little bit the descent rate, and at Gambia or Cameroon we are expecting 10,000. So we'll put 10,000 feet here, a little bit high we are right now. We'll put, for example, the recommended speed right now is 276, so I will decrease 4 knots and put the speed at 276. It could help, you know. I will increase it as well. Since it's getting dark, I will activate the dim mode here in the LTS. I only switch from bright to dim. And I will activate the logo lights as well, because it's almost night here in the United States. We'll zoom in the approach to New York. As you can see, after Seattle we will be lined up already with the runway. We will capture the localizer and the glide slope for the runway 04 right here in John F. Kennedy Airport. So Seattle over here, 2,000 feet should we be at 2,000 at Seattle. Alright, just after Pansy we're gonna turn to the left via Wink, here as you can see. We synchronize our heading again, heading 052. We activate the altimeter. In this case it's the normal one, the standard 29.902 inches, because we have no wind today. I put it no winds for the tutorial, but after later in the 4th episode in the real flight in VATSIM we are gonna fly, of course, with the real-time weather. So don't worry for that. I will teach you about the weather too. So heading 052 following to wink. We expect flight level 130 at wink. I don't know if we're gonna make that, probably not. So as you can see, we are flying the Cameron Ford arrival. So that means that Cameron is our first waypoint for the approach. When we pass Cameron, we are already in the approach. So before entering Cameron, we're gonna do the approach checklist. Very easy checklist again. Approach checklist altimeters are checked, 29er, 902, both sides. Approach checklist completed. And now we are ready for entering the approach for runway ILS 04 right in New York. Now fly direct to Cameron. So after Cameron, we are expecting 2000 at Seattle. So we're gonna put 2000 here. 2000, descending to 2000. Checked, heading 040. And for Cameron, we expect speed reduction to 250, our speed here. I'll put some speed brakes for speed reduction. So we're getting closer to John F. Kennedy Airport. I will see here in the list if we have it. Not yet. We'll wait to getting even closer to the runway before choosing our gate. So we're gonna synchronize the heading because we're gonna turn to the left directly to Seattle. There we are, 30 degrees to the left. So we are reaching 10,000. So what we're gonna do is seatbelts on, landing lights on, camera lights on, runway turn off on, and taxi on. All the lights are on, seatbelt sign is on, and we can announce here, cabin crew, take your seats for landing. So the cabin crew is prepared for the arrival as well. Here we got speed brake extended because we are braking, we are destroying energy with the speed brakes. So I will put the speed brakes down again, and now I'm gonna reduce the descent rate because we are already at 9,000 and we are expecting 2,000 earlier than Seattle, so we can already stop braking with the speed brake. The engines are in idle, as you can see. So after Seattle, after 2000, we go to Epi, and after that we have runway 04 right and we land in New York. So we are very close for the arrival. The altimeter is already captured, so we can put it. The altimeter in New York, in this case is the standard. And we are expecting to be at speed 210 at Seattle. So I will reduce to 210. And after that, I'll still reduce the descent rate and activate a little bit of the speed brakes because of the high descent rate that we have. Okay, the cabin is ready. Cabin crew, take your seats is announced. Cabin is prepared and ready for landing. So that means that everybody is seated in its seats. Right now we have John F. Kennedy available, so we click in our destination airport, click Gate Echo 3. The handling operator American Airlines, because it's an airport in the USA. And handling by American Airlines, a marshaller has been dispatched on site. That means that the ground staff, the ground team is already preparing our gate and waiting us for our arrival in New York. As you can see, we are waiting to be exactly at 2000 feet at Seattle, and we have to be at speed 210, so we have to do the speed reduction. We're only 23 miles away from the runway. So, as you can see, if we change the flight level, we can change only in thousands. That's why this switch is useful. We are descending to 2000, but we are expecting 1500 at Ebbie. So we change it to auto, and we can reduce in hundreds. So we click 1500, change back 2000, and we let it in 1500 for Ebbie. So the idea is that this green indicator is in Ebbie, where will be at 1500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500 feet. So we'll begin with flaps 1. We check speed checks 265, 250, flaps 1. We're at 20 miles from the runway, speed 230. So there it is, John F. Kennedy Airport. That is our landing runway. We're gonna land at that runway 04 right. I think it should be the John F. Kennedy Airport runways. Yeah, that's our runway for landing. So right now we put flaps 5, speed checks, flaps 5 at 245, 227, speed checks, flaps 5. We're expecting 210 before Seattle, that's already done. Now flaps 15, 230, speed checks, flaps 15. Alright. When we reach speed 180, we develop the gear. So landing gear down and flaps 20. Expecting to be at 170 at Abbey, as you can see here. Abbey 1500, speed 170. So right now 180, gear down, flaps 20. And we can set already speed 160 if we want. When we reach 160, we can put flaps 30 at 180 knots. Speed is checked, so flaps 30. We arm the speed brakes. Speed brake armed. So we do the landing checklist. Landing checklist, speed brake armed, landing gear down, flaps 30. Landing checklist is completed, we are ready for landing. As you can see, we're gonna reduce the minimum before VREF plus 5, speed 150. And the glide slope is already close to the line, so I'm gonna activate approach mode. Localizer is established for the lateral navigation. Glide slope capture right now for the vertical navigation. And now we press init ref. Our VREF is 138, so we put VREF plus 5, will be 143. Only 5 miles. So we're gonna disconnect the autopilot and the auto throttle as well. Autopilot disconnected, flying the aircraft manually, always following the glide slope and the localizer in the way to the runway.
1000.
Clear.
400. $300.
Very nice lights flying over the runway.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Speed brakes up. Reverse is normal. Auto brake disarmed. Reverse normal. And we wait for vacating the runway. The spoilers go to normal. Spoilers are down. And we brake manually with the rudder pedals. We are vacating via this taxiway. We're gonna taxi via hotel and then left an Alpha in the way to the Terminal 1, Gate Echo 3. So right now the flaps up. Flaps are up. Strobe light off, landing lights off. And we can now taxi to our gate. Like I said, very nice, those lights flying over the runways. Another problem for John F. Kennedy Airport. So we are at taxiway near to the runway 31 right. Like I said, when flying online or in the real life, you have to ask for ATC clearance before crossing any runway, but as we are flying offline, we will cross the runway without a problem. And then we will join a taxiway hotel. We're at the taxiway Yankee, and then we'll join, I think it's taxiway hotel, if I remember. This should be the taxiway hotel. All right. There it is. All right, this is Yankee. We're still in Yankee. And after Foxtrot, crossing Foxtrot, we should be at hotel. I think I know the taxiways in New York, but I could be wrong. But it should be taxiway hotel. Alright, yeah, because that's Foxtrot Alpha and this is hotel, so let me check because I have no patience at all. No, this is Yankee, this is hotel. Yeah, I watched a video on YouTube explaining about the taxiways in John F. Kennedy Airport, and I thought that this taxiway was the taxiway hotel, but we are taxiing via Yankee, down Yankee, and then we turn right in hotel, and then we cross the runway 04 left, and then we turn left on Alpha. That's the taxi I planned before doing the video. So this is Golf, I think. Should be, yeah. This is taxiway Golf. We are going straight ahead into Yankee and then turn right in the next one, taxiway hotel. Alright, here we are, taxiway hotel. We'll brake a little bit here and turn right for crossing runway 04 left. Alright. We should be at hotel. Yeah, hotel for left. We're in the right taxiway. And then we cross via hotel, we cross runway 04 left, cross Bravo, and then left and Alpha. So, left is clear, right is cleared. We can cross. This is Bravo, and here we turn left on Alpha. Right now we are taxiing via Alpha, and then all the way to Alpha to, I don't remember the entrance, Kilo Golf or Lima Lima or Lima Alpha, I don't know. But we will see when we arrive in Terminal 1. We do a right turn over here. I think we should enter via November, because I forgot that we're taxiing to the Terminal 1, not the Terminal 3 or 4. It's normally where I park in New York. So let's taxi all the way in Alpha until we reach our entrance to the gate. I will prepare the screen for the slides here, the door, menu, FS action and doors for disarm the slides. This is what the cabin crew do normally, but we can simulate it as pilots from the cockpit because, you know, it's everything about simulation. At this point I will turn the APU on, start, goes back to on, so APU is starting. That's our terminal. We will turn to the right. Alright, there's our gate. Alright, so taxi lights off. Now we can say, cabin crew, disarm lights. The lights are disarmed. Now we will wait for the guidance of the marshaller here. Alright, we bring the aircraft to a fully stop. Check the APU is running, lights are disarmed, engines off. We turned off the engines, seatbelt signs off, storm on. And here we are. Welcome to New York. Right now I'm gonna do the parking procedures and securing the aircraft procedures. So we opened the checklist again, and for the shutdown we're gonna turn the hydraulic panel off and the fuel pumps to off, the beacon off, and now we can check parking brake is set. And the radars should be turned off, of course. Terrain, airport, weather. Weather radar is off. Shutdown checklist completed. Now we'll check all the switches and buttons as much as possible for put it like in Washington before the flight. For example, the squawk, we can set the squawk as 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The menu in the FMC, we check speed brakes down, flaps up, thrust idle, engines cut off, parking brake set, both menu for the FMCs, auto brake off. The VORs go to off here, as well as for the first officer. Flight director off, auto throttle off, auto throttle disarmed or offed. Right now we put 200 knots in heading, or current heading 117, 10,000 feet. Then all the lights off, NTIs off, the packs, right pack, left pack, emergency lights off, window heat off, ADIRU off, cabin utility, pass seats off, storm off. And now we can do the secure checklist completed. ADIRU is off, emergency lights off, packs are off, secure checklist completed. And that was it with the checklists. Now we can turn the APU off. You can see here, if we recall, APU cool down. That means that the APU is turning off. And that was it for the flight with the 777, the tutorial flight from Washington DC to New York. I hope you liked it, guys. Remember, if you like what I am doing, please subscribe to the channel or like the video. And you should be happy because I will launch the 4th episode of the season 2 of CAS in the Cockpit, the last episode of the season 2. And like I said, you should be happy and excited because we'll be doing a complete flight in VATSIM, in the VATSIM network. The episode is called Full VATSIM Flight with a real airline, with a flight in real life, with a flight that pilots are doing in the real life. And of course with our Boeing 777, we're gonna do all the detailed procedures for a specific airline flight and a specific airline procedures. So that was it, guys. APU is off right now and we can turn the battery off. And how it looks like, it's cold and dark again, completely powered off. And that's how we turn off the Boeing 777. We arrived safely in New York. Thank you very much for watching. Be excited for the 4th and last episode of the season. Real airline flight on VATSIM. So I will see you in the next one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.